All right. So here's the thing. Every culture, every group of people has their own set of rules, you know? It's like how every language is different. But it works as long as everyone knows what's going on. So these rules are kind of like the rules in a game. Now, let's say chess. You've got your basic game pieces, moves, and all of that. But in one place, people might play with an 8-square board. And somewhere else, they play with 9 squares. Doesn't matter, right? As long as you know how to play, it's all good. And culture's kind of like that too. You're all living by some set of rules, and as long as you're playing by them, it all works out. It's like a game that shapes the way we live. Simple enough, right? So here's another thing. Ever hear of karma? It's like cosmic justice. Kind of like cause and effect you did in your past life. Like if you were good, you get good stuff. And if you're bad, you get bad stuff. And some people even believe that if you're super good, you'll get paradise. And if you're super bad, you'll get stuck in some sort of spiritual purgatory. It's just part of their culture, you know? They don't question it. It's just how it works. But here's where it gets weird, right? Some people from the West go into this idea of karma and reincarnation and think, oh, this explains why I'm suffering, because I did something bad in a past life. But hold up. What they're missing is that karma and recreation weren't meant to explain suffering in the first place. They were meant to free people from feeling stuck in this endless cycle of past mistakes. But when Western folks adopt these thinking ideas, they can explain everything. They miss the point. It's like trying to sweep away darkness with a broom. It doesn't work. You can't just tidy it up with some quick fix. It's a trap. And the thing is, people get stuck in the idea of ego. They think, I'm the one who controls me. I'm the knower. And everything else is not me. But what if that separation is fake? What if there is no I and me? What if all that control stuff is just part of the game? Eventually, if you really start digging into this, you might realize that there is no separation between you and everything else. The line between you and the world is kind of blurry or non-existent. But here's the catch. Once you realize that, you also see that the whole system, the game that you've been playing, is fake too. It's all part of a setup to keep things going the way they are, to keep everyone playing by the same rules. Now, if you figure this out, then it's like a big aha moment. you realize that the group you're supposed to be fighting against, well, they're actually kind of helping you out. Like George Orwell's 1984. He said that a government needs an enemy to keep everyone motivated, right? They have to have something to fight. If they don't, they lose their purpose. So, they make one up, even if it doesn't really exist. And this happens to societies too. Groups think they need an enemy to survive. But what if that enemy is just there to keep the systems running? Without that opponent, the whole thing could fall apart. But then there's another way of seeing all this, right? The Buddha, or someone like that, sees through the game. And they don't need fear or hatred or competition to keep going. They're not stirred up by all that drama. They're living outside the system, like really free from it. And that's the key. When you stop feeding the system with all that negativity, you're free. And that's the whole point of life. To see through the game and to live in a way that doesn't follow all the rules that keep everyone stuck. So to wrap it up, the rules of culture, yeah, they're important. But freedom comes from realizing that you don't have to play by the rules. When you stop believing in the game, you're free to live your own way, outside of all those restrictions. And that's where you find true freedom. Perichoresis.